There has been a massive explosion in Beirut, Lebanon this week. It's an absolute tragedy. We're going to get into it in this week's 5-Minute Friday. Hey, it's DAVIDRAMMS. Welcome back to another 5-Minute Friday, where we go through the last week's news and we take a look at anything that's relevant to veganism and animal rights and bring it all to you within a little 5-minute package. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell before we go on with the video so that you don't miss any more videos in the future. Let's put those 5 minutes on the clock and let's kick off with the first story. There has been a massive explosion in Beirut, Lebanon that has leveled part of the city. This is an absolute tragedy. It's a horrible disaster, and it's happened in a country that has already been struggling with various issues over the last, it's been many years. This explosion was the largest that has ever happened in the country, and this is a country that has had war, bombs dropped on it over the last years. So this is really a big deal, and it's absolutely devastating. It's killed over 100 people, it's injured thousands of people, as well as we have to assume that it has killed and injured literally thousands of non-human animals, although we don't have the numbers on that quite yet. My good friend and activist Seb Alex, he's an animal rights activist, he's Lebanese, he's over there right now. He's working with the vegan group Lebanese Vegans to bring plant-based foods to the underprivileged and people who have been directly impacted by this disaster. He's also working with local animal hospitals to treat animals that have been injured in the blast. Please consider supporting their work by clicking the link in the comments. It will take you to a page where you can give a donation to Seb Alex, and he is going to put that donation either towards the feeding the underprivileged humans with the plant-based food, vegan food, or going to the animal hospitals, and you can obviously specify where you want it to go, but please do consider clicking that link and helping them out. Now over to Australia, where a house developer, has been given permission by the government to kill 40 kangaroos. This is yet another direct example of human supremacy. Human supremacy is the rational belief that the human species is more superior to other species just because it is the human species, if that makes sense. Very similar to white supremacy, but instead of race, it's species. This Australian developer wants to kill 40 sentient beings, take their lives, because he wants to build some houses. This is literally as direct an example of human supremacy as you'll ever see. They claimed, we've tried everything possible to avoid it. Did you not try, not building the houses? If you're in Australia and you're not currently speaking up against things like this, I would encourage you, please do take a stand. Please do make your voice heard. Wherever you are in the world, if you're not speaking up, if you're not making your voice heard, form a group, join a group, do something, because these animals, they are literally victims to human supremacy every day. You're the only ones that are going to stand up for them, so please join us, fight for them with us. Over to Toronto, where there was a clash between animal rights protesters and pro-slaughterhouse or pro-trucker protesters who did a counter-protest. There are some groups out there right now telling us to actively fight for the rights of slaughterhouse workers, and even to go as far as holding like a vigil event for them. A vigil event is where you emotionally give compassion to these people, and we hold these events for animals, and this is very popular, and this is a very good way of reaching out and getting people to see what happens to the animals and being there for the animals. And some groups are actually trying to hold these exact same events for people that work in slaughterhouses. These counter-protests show us how much of a pathetic misconception that is of the real world to be defending the rights of these people and holding vigils for them as animal rights activists. This all comes after the tragic killing of Regan Russell, where she was hit and killed by a truck that was taking pigs to their death on the way into the slaughterhouse. These counter-protesters came out in favor and in protest to support the truckers, support the slaughterhouses, and to support the farmers. There were physical clashes between the two groups, and the police had to step in. One of the protesters was holding a sign saying Regan Russell committed suicide. I'm all about respectful communication and outreaching people, but defending these people, holding vigils for these kinds of people, holding signs like that is just ridiculous. The love-based approach, the compassionate approach is good in theory, but failing to understand its limits leads to nonsense like holding vigils for these kinds of people. Violence is not the answer, but neither is passivity. We can be direct, unapologetic, and strong whilst delivering messages with empathy and understanding. It is possible to have the balance, and that's what we need. There is a petition that you can sign that is calling for an inquest into the death of Regan Russell, a public inquest. Please do sign it. The link is in the comments. Now over to the USA, and in Bucks County, the SPCA there has been reporting an increase in cruelty cases in backyard farming. This is important because many people come to us and they say backyard farms are ethical, backyard farms are okay, they do things better than these big industry farms. Now we can see just from this example that that's not true. Just last year, the Bucks County SPCA had to rescue 545 live animals or people surrendering those animals as a result of animal neglect or abuse investigations. And that number has increased year on year. This is the most it has been, and it's only getting worse. They said that the problem was people getting in over their heads with the small scale or backyard farming, and it's been ongoing and has been a trend with bad results for many years. They also mentioned that often the animals were purchased as chicks or ducklings in the spring, and then the owners don't know what to do with them. Also that the owners get attached to the animals and they're unable to slaughter them or sell them. Whether it's a backyard farm or in a big industrial farm, the animals are being used, the animals are being abused. abused, they're being exploited. No matter where we do this to them, what we're doing to them is wrong, and this is just another example of one of the many reasons why it's wrong. The answer is to stop using and exploiting animals' bodies for things that we don't need. What would you do with $150 right now? If someone gave it to you for free, no catch, you just get $150 for free, what would you do with it? I've teamed up with ABILLIONVEG and they are giving away $150 cash to the person that makes the most vegan product reviews on their app for the month of August. All you gotta do to win is download the app, go to the settings, enter my referral code, which is DAVIDRAMMS, and then start reviewing. If you make the most reviews in August, you get $150 cash. Also, for every 10 reviews you make, they will donate $10 to an animal charity of your choice. It's literally a win-win, so sign up now and get involved. As always, let me know if I missed any stories this week. Let me know in the comments and I will cover it next week if it's still relevant. And do let me know in the comments what you think of this week's stories. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell before you leave so you don't miss any more videos in the future. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.